What is going down, Sourdough Squad? Oh boy, a lot has happened since the weekend. We got the draft in 3 days. Whoo, whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, NFL draft. We got some. We got a John Lynch press conference today. Get ready, guys. It's going to be a jam-packed day of 49ers content. Let's get into the stuff from this weekend and how it impacts the rest of the week moving forward. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. First of all, how are we doing? Shout out to the SDS. It's jam packed, baby. We've got the draft in 3 days from Kansas City, and as we know, the draft has been this deadline that we have been moving towards. And as we continue to work through all of this quarterback mumbo jumbo, we're getting more and more information to help us try to at least be prepared for what could happen. Now, we don't know. Look, there's a very strong likelihood that we get through the NFL draft. Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, Sam Darnold are chilling as a San Francisco 49ers quarterback. But there's also a range of outcome where other things can happen. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the stuff that came out of this weekend. There's a bunch of stuff with Brock Purdy, with Trey Lance, and we're going to get into it all right now. First of all, I hope you guys had a phenomenal weekend. I did. I had a great weekend. Beautiful weekend, spending time with the wifey. We went on this phenomenal date. One of the best dates we've ever had. It was a great time to be alive. It was really fun. And now I'm refreshed heading into the draft, and I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about rumors. I'm excited to talk about draft prospects. Let's talk about it all. And again, if you guys got any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. We got all kinds of stuff cooking up. I mean, and again, like John Lynch will be speaking to the media in little over a half an hour. So it's a jam-packed day. So I wanted to get in a live before John Lynch speaks because there's going to be a ton of stuff that comes out of the John Lynch presser. We don't know if Kyle Shanahan is going to show up, but I wanted to talk about the stuff that happened this weekend prior to that. So then when we get on the other side to reacting to John Lynch, we just go straight into it. And we already know the context of everything heading basically reacting to the presser. So let's start with Trey Lance. All right. Let's start here. Trey Lance, I see your question about Brandon Ayuk, and that will be another great topic. Don't mind me, just booted myself from my own stream. But let's keep cooking, shall we? I think everything's should be there. We go. Hey, it's Monday. Bear with us. Multitasking like a son of a gun right now. So let's get into it all. But I'm back. All right. So from this weekend, we actually heard from Trey Lance himself. So Trey Lance was in Fargo, I believe. Fargo, North Dakota is where the NDSU Bison are located. And why Trey Lance was there was because there was a spring game going on. If you didn't know, Trey Lance's brother, Bryce Lance, also plays for the Bison. So Trey Lance was in attendance to watch his brother ball out. And he met up with a reporter, Mike McFeely, who asked him a bunch of questions. And I think the biggest news that really came out of that conversation is that we finally got some clarity that he is cleared. Now, we have presumed that he was cleared to play because he's been practicing. We've seen the videos with Patrick Mahomes and all that type of stuff, but we haven't heard from Trey Lance since he really did that media tour heading into the Super Bowl, where he had given a timeline of 3 to 4 weeks before he was cleared and ready to go. Well, with 3 days heading into the draft, this is the first news that we have officially gotten. Like, now, again, we've all presumed he's been cleared to play, but we haven't been able to actually put our finger on it and say, John Lynch said he's cleared to play. Kyle said he's cleared to play. It came from Trey Lance. So Trey Lance basically said that he's been feeling really good and he's been cleared for a little over a month. So, hey, Trey Lance is cleared officially. Official, like a referee with a whistle. Trey Lance is ready to go. And again, we've already assumed this. We've seen the videos. We know he's working. We know he's throwing. We know all that type of stuff. So, but this is the first time it's actually been said from anyone in the NFL or in the 49ers inner circle, and it came from Trey Lance himself. So, what is the impact that Trey Lance has of being fully cleared? Well, one, he can practice. Yay. Trey Lance broke his ankle week 2 against the Seattle Seahawks, and he can go out and practice. That's good news. Second, but really what falls in line, which makes this more important, I would say, in regards to his potential future, is the report that set the NFL on fire last week from Ian Rappaport. If you remember, Ian Rappaport put out a carefully stated, sourced rumor or sourced report. It's not even a rumor. It's a report that teams have been calling on Trey Lance. And again, it was very specific that it was to say that teams are calling and the 49ers aren't the ones doing the callings. That was the very meticulously thought out, crafted report from Rap Sheet that, the 49ers aren't doing the calling. Teams are calling them. And we know the San Francisco 49ers are going to be listening to all and any offer on any players. So the importance comes from that the correlation is, okay, we did have some questions because we didn't know if he was fully cleared to go. Well, he is, which means if he were to be traded, not saying he will be, but if he were, he should be able to pass physical. Those are typically some of the hurdles that are in place for players to actually get traded. Got to be able to pass physical. And a player coming off an injury, a severe ankle injury, a guy who's had 2 surgeries, one follow-up surgery to deal with the irritation, right? So, but all things considered, Trey Lance looks good. Trey Lance looks ready to go. And that, again, opens up the door a little bit for the speculation and rampant rumors that started last week, thanks to Ian Rappaport's very, very carefully worded and typed out, sourced report that the 49ers are not looking into, but are getting calls that Trey Lance could potentially be traded. So it'll be interesting. Justin says, is it strange that Trey announced that he was cleared and not the team? Well, so I put this out. This came out over the weekend, so I'm late to this. Like I said, I was having a blast this weekend. I took a step back from anything 49ers related. And And I just took a step back and I was like, yeah, I saw everything come through and I really didn't do that much digging into it because I was having a blast. I was having a hell of a time with my wife. Again, we recently celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So that's where my focuses were. So it's Monday to me. That's where I start my work week, especially in the off season. I really try to give myself the weekends to vibe with my family and do all that type of stuff and really not get too crazy because I'm on 24/7 during the season. So in the off season, I need a little break. You know what I mean? I need a little R&R. I need to give you some time away because this 49ers team can make you recede a little bit. You lose some of the hairs, get a little grays in the beard if you cover this team long enough. So I took a little step back, but of course, this morning I get into it and I look and I read the entire article and I'm like, oh, this is news because no one has reported on this. And we've been kind of waiting. Like, obviously, we've assumed that he's been cleared to go. We've assumed that he's ready to go. But this is the first time that we've actually, like, it's on the books, it's on record that, hey, Trey Lance is cleared. And it came from Trey Lance himself. The whole timetable, the timeline, again, if we did our best Charlie conspiracy board impersonation where he's looking at the board, you got all the lines connected, all the timelines connected. Yeah, it is interesting. But the entire quarterback conversation surrounding the San Francisco 49ers continues to be interesting. It continues to be the number one drama in the NFL. And it keeps, again, I keep talking about it. Every time I try to step away from the quarterback conversation, something new happens where it pulls us back in. And it's like, man, I would love to focus on the draft that's coming up. I think the 49ers have a phenomenal opportunity in front of them to get a hell of a lot better with the draft coming up, how deep this class is, all the prospects in here. I'm like hyped. I'm like, oh, the draft is going to be sick. But we can't even focus on the draft because we keep getting pulled back into stuff like this. So this is the first time that we've heard that. We haven't heard from Upbeat Reporter. We haven't heard from a Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Garofalo, a Palacero, Rossini. We haven't heard from anyone about the status of Trey Lance. So it came from Trey Lance himself and from a reporter in Fargo, North Dakota. That's the guy who broke the story. And it kind of, he obviously asked. The other thing that really was highlighted from that particular article was the fact that he asked Trey Lance about the trade rumors. And Trey Lance said, like, straight to the point, no comment, and I have no information. So Trey Lance clearly has heard the rumors. He's ingested the rumors. And when asked directly about the rumors, he said, no comment, and continued to say, I have no information, which makes sense. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I wouldn't expect Trey to divulge any information. They bumped it up 10 minutes. Uh-oh. Hold on. We might have the great migration here pretty soon. Bear with me. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna double check here. Oh, they did. These they bumped it up. Yep, they bumped it up. So it was originally scheduled at 12 noon Pacific Standard per the 49ers YouTube, which they will be live streaming. It will be going at 11:45. So they bumped it up 15 minutes early. Will Kyle Shanahan be there? Oh, I don't know. but we got the press. So thank you for the heads up because I would have been paying attention. Corey Soto says, "Congratulations, my girlfriend and I just celebrated our 7th year. We watched the old Niners game. Not really. I would be shocked if your girlfriend was like, "Yeah, let's watch old Niners game for our 7th year anniversary." But congratulations to you, Corey. Appreciate you, man. Um, and shout out to your girlfriend. And 7 years, that's nothing to scoff at. That's a long time to be together per Jose Rappaport. Shout out to Jose for breaking the news that John Lynch will be going live. So I'll be live up until that. So we can vibe out per usual, and we can vibe until they go live, and then we will do our thing. And so how we're going to operate it is once they go live, we can all do the great migration over to YouTube. And then I will be going live directly after for instant reactions. So make sure you got post notifications on and you're ready to go so we can react in real time to John Lynch and his comments, because what I really do think he is going to be asked a whole lot about, and I would assume, is Trey Lance and the trade rumors. I would imagine I would hope to believe that they would be the 49ers press corps would really kind of try to get more clarity on this particular subject because, since that tweet that Ian Rappaport put out, it's all we've been talking about. It's all anyone's been talking about. It's all the NFL YouTube page posted an entire video on it. Bleacher Report's talking about it. Like Sports Illustrated, like everyone is talking about it from that point on. So I would imagine they're going to get a lot of questions about that. And as we kind of understand leading up until that point, we also do think that, and this is also the other thing that I would imagine that hopefully we find out, is that I believe May 1st is the official deadline to pick up a player's 5th-year option. It's already been alluded to that Javon Kinlaw's 5th-year option won't be picked up. I would probably assume we'll get an official word on that. And we'll also, I would assume that we'd also get official word on if the San Francisco 49ers are going to be picking up Brandon Ayuk's 5th-year option, which we've all been anticipating. And again, Brandon Ayuk has been another player that has been widely rumored to be a potential trade target based on his age, based on where he's at in his contract, how he's peaking in his career, his current value, and the cost of the current 49ers wide receiver room and their potential plans in the future. So Brandon Ayuk has been heavily involved in trade rumors as well, or trade speculation. I would say it's been less heavy regarding Trey Lance as of the last week, but it is also something that fans are thinking about, and it's been something that I've thinking about since I interviewed Brandon Ayuk. We asked Brandon, do you envision yourself being a San Francisco 49er for a long time? And he always said, it's not up to me. If it's up to me, absolutely. But at the end of the day, I got to take care of my family and I got to do what's best for me. So that's another speculation that we have cooking up. So we are going to find out. I hope we find out that the 49ers are picking up his 5th-year option. I would be upset if they traded Brandon Ayuk 100%. I think most of the fans, I think all fans would. I think if you had to poll the fan base, Brandon Ayuk might be one of the most widely beloved 49ers on the current roster. Based on all those things, his age, where he's at, his production, and the peak that he's at. So don't want that. So that's what I imagine today's press conference is going to be a lot about. I imagine the press is going to kind of, I think it's, I've been in those scrums, okay? Like so I have a bit of perspective that I didn't have before. Being able to be at the combine and being able to stand, I was directly in front of John Lynch, and being able to kind of be in that environment where you have your Mayokos, your Lombardis, your Barrows, your JLCs, your Tracy Sandlers are all right around you, and I'm standing less than 5 feet away from John Lynch, and I'm dead center right in the middle. You can understand how there's a bit of a professional aspect to it in regards to the way you ask questions. But however, even regardless of that, I do imagine that the 49ers press corps is going to ask these questions about potentially trading Ayuk, potentially trading uh Trey Lance, and what that entails. And I imagine they're going to keep asking until they might, we know, shout out to John Lynch. He's a phenomenal speaker, and he knows how to, they're really good at saying not a lot, really not saying a whole lot. um, but, being able to work through it. So I would imagine that's kind of what it's going to be. But it's going to be fascinating. This is one of the more anticipated press conferences that we've had in a while, um, because of all the rumors. Again, Trey's at the top of the list. Brandon Ayuk's at the top of the list. We didn't get to talk about Brock Purdy a whole lot. I thought I was going to have an extra 15 minutes. So I'm going to stay on until they instantly go live, because we know, just like me, you can be a little tardy sometimes. So until they're ready to go, vibe with me, and then we will make the great migration on over. I will pull the link as well to the video, and I'll drop it in the chat so we can all make the great migration over to the 49ers YouTube. So don't feel like you got to go yet. I will let you know when they're live, and we can all do it together. So I appreciate you guys vibing with me. This is our pre-draft presser. This is the or not the pre-draft. This is the pre-show to the presser. So we're getting ready. We're getting ready to go. And again, we're patiently waiting to get to hear from John Lynch. And again, I know they probably want to talk more so about the draft than anything else, but I don't think anyone's really too concerned about the draft. It's a perfect storm. The 49ers don't have a first or second round pick. They're picking at the back end of the third. So unfortunately for John Lynch, the draft might be one of the things at the back of the line in regards to what fans want to know. Aha! See? They did it. See, this is how we're professionals here. The San Francisco 49ers just kicked the press conference back 15 minutes to noon. So they just made that adjustment. So we got another 15 minutes to go. Like they originally put out. It was going to be at 12. They scheduled it at 11:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and they just now kicked it back. So again, I got you covered. Y'all can kick it and chill here. When they go live, I will let you know. I'll drop the link, and then we will dip out and we will go into the presser. But until then, we're gonna vibe a little bit. We're gonna vibe. So, let me know, what do you think the number one question should be to John Lynch? Let me know, or what's the number one thing that you want addressed in this particular press conference? Let me know what you think in the chat below, and let's talk about it, because I really do believe that it's the trade stuff. It's the quarterback uncertainty. That's really what it comes down to. I think if you if you look at the rest of the way the free agency went, if you look at how everything else has gone this offseason, it's been pretty smooth outside the quarterback. So that's I think that we got cooking. Um What's up with Brock? So we got to hear from Brock. Brock went on the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelsey, the hottest player podcast uh out right now. I mean, those guys are absolutely crushing the podcast game. They're phenomenal to listen to. Again, you have the brotherly kind of back and forth, but they're both NFL players at the top of their game, and they bring on great guests. They've been doing a phenomenal job. I haven't listened to the whole podcast all the way through. I've listened to segments, but apparently Brock Purdy is so diehard. He's such a diehard that he has learned and begun to learn how to throw left-handed. And I don't blame him because, I've had so I'm not going to compare myself to Brock Purdy. That's not what I'm doing. I'm relating. I'm being able to relate. I had a stage 3 shoulder tear, where I basically separated my collarbone from my shoulder. It was the worst graded tear. Completely popped the thing off the bone. Um, I'm crazy. I have that football mentality where, like, I play through injury, I do things through injury. Like, when I was in a sling, I would go out and play basketball because I would just make sure my left arm was, like, secured to my body and it wasn't flailing, and I would go play basketball one-handed, and I did that for, like, 3 months. So the reason why I'm telling that story is because the football players have that type of mindset. That they have this mindset where it's like, okay, Brock's like, I can't throw with my right arm. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna throw with my left arm. And hey, maybe get prepared for if that ever happens again, I'm gonna throw with my left arm. So it's just this mentality. It's the only thing I can relate to. Like, I went snowboarding with a torn shoulder. Um, it's just there's like you find the workarounds. Like, you realize, like, injury's a part of it, and you go through so much injury that you're just like, you're less taken back by it, and you're like, all right, what's the workaround? For Brock Purdy, the workaround was throwing left-handed. So Brock's he's built the right way, man. I'm not worried about Brock. I think Brock is going to figure it out. I think he's going to be able to adjust. Um, Obviously, there was that quote that he put out that kind of scared everyone a little bit, about, like, not being sure. But again, my thought process was he just didn't want to set any type of expectations. It was expectation control is really what it came down to, and not putting the cart before the horse, and just take, again, what he said multiple times in that quote was one day at a time. So all things considered, Brock seems like he's on his way back. You saw the videos from him at Oracle. Um, I can pull it up if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you've seen it. He got a standing ovation at Oracle Park, um, with the Giants. Uh, Look at let you guys ready to do some over. You want to analyze Brock Purdy's waving motion? Are you guys ready for that? You wanna take it to that next level of just like let's analyze Brock Purdy's wave. Oh, look at that. Ooh! That's what I'm talking about. He went over the head. We got back and forth, bend from the elbow. That's what I'm talking about. We're cooking. Let's go, Brocky. Look at that wave, man. Look at that wave. But honestly, in all seriousness, it is still pretty cool to see him going straight, him going angular, some motion. Last time I saw Brock Purdy, my guy was looking a little robotronic. He looked like he was about to be casted in the next RoboCop movie with that arm brace. So, hey, I'll take any type of movement, man. I'll take anything. I'll take anything from Brock at this point. I'll take it all. That's where we're at. That's where we're at as Niner fans, is that we are looking at a player wave his arm after getting out of a cast, and we're like, ooh, he's looking good. I love covering this team, man. I love covering this team. Every day, we come up with something new to be able to speak about with this team. Even if it's the same topic, something else happens. And my guy out here looking like Robo Brock, man. So hey, good news, I guess. He's moving. Well, we don't know at all how that actually translates to throwing a football, which is the most important thing. But we'll see. What I'm assuming, what NFL team would be the most boring to cover? Ooh, that's a good question. Who would be the most boring NFL team to cover? Who is just me? I feel like the Arizona Cardinals would be the most boring team to cover. They're just so perpetually mediocre. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals would be kind of boring. They've been spicy as of late because of all the firings and all the things that are going on. They've been a little spicy. The trade rumors have been a little spicy as of late. But I mean, when you look at the Cardinals, man, I mean, Cardinals would be kind of boring. Rams would be kind of boring. Yeah, I would say the Rams. Rams, maybe the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons recently might be a little boring. I don't know. Texans got exciting when they got D'Amico. Tennessee shaking it up. Tennessee shaking it up. The Commanders, man. Commanders always have something to talk about. There's a new level of drama that comes from all of that. So, I like this question from Corey. He says, what is the limit of your Niner fandom? What would need to happen for you to stop following the Niners? Trent Baalke almost did it. Like, I'm sure you guys have probably heard the Oakland A's are moving to Las Vegas because they're the definition of a poverty franchise. But at one point, I considered myself an A's fan. But when and you guys know me, I get into how teams are built. I love the moves. I love the behind the scenes. I love roster construction. I love seeing the pieces accumulated, built, and then seeing what it looks like at the end, what the end result is. Every time the A's took 2 steps forward, they would take 17 steps back because they would trade all their good players. And at that point, like after a couple of years of that, and they traded away all their top players, I was like, I'm already having enough time with baseball just because it's really hard. 162 games. I mean, 4 or 5 hour games. It's really hard for someone with ADHD like me to be really invested into baseball. So I was like, I got to walk away from this. I can't get emotionally invested into a team that doesn't care about my emotions. So I walked away from the A's. I walked away. For me, it was Trent Baalke. Like, it was Trent Baalke. I was so angry at Trent Baalke, the way he drafted, the way he basically torpedoed the San Francisco 49ers into the dirt after kind of just getting like out of that hellscape that the 49ers were in with Singletary, with Nolan, with Erickson. I was like, oh, we got Harbaugh. We're back. We're back, baby. Um, but Bulky, I'm a big draft guy. Bulky would pick the guys that I would call busts. Vance McDonald, insta bust. I watched him at Rice. I'm like, this guy can't catch. Like, you could see it on tape at Rice. I'm like, Vance McDonald cannot catch a football to save his life. And Trent Baalke's like, and I'm on my that was back in the day when I was on the message boards. I was in the comment sections. I was like, "Oh, Vance McDonald," like, on Bleacher Report, like in the comments, like on everything, like doing all my own mock drafts in the comments, all that type of stuff. Like, I'm like, Vance McDonald is trash. And then the 49ers take him in the second round. And I'm like, I almost lost my mind. Then they take Will Redmond. Then they take Marcus Lattimore. Then they take Rashad. I was a big Dak Prescott guy that year. I was a big Dak Prescott guy. And I thought he would have been a perfect fit for the San Francisco 49ers, Chip Kelly. Obviously they're transitioning away from Cap. And I was like, you could get great value on Dak Prescott, third, fourth round. They take Rashard Robinson out of LSU, who didn't play because he was suspended the entire year prior and had injury concerns. And then 2 picks later, Dak Prescott goes to the Cowboys. Now, I'm not too upset about it now, but Dak was a 4th round quarterback who turned into a franchise quarterback for some team. And you could say, okay, maybe the 49ers dodged a bullet. But in that time, in that moment of being like, we need to draft Dak Prescott, they took Rashard Robinson. And I wanted to end it there. I wanted to end it. I was like, I love the draft too much to watch my team just be run into the dirt over and over again by Trent Baalke. You know what, Damon? We put it in an envelope, and, I felt really good about A.J. Jenkins. And what I saw from A.J. Jenkins on tape just really solidified to me that he needed to be the pick at number 31. And we, as an organization, felt comfortable with taking A.J. Jenkins, the 31 overall pick. That dude made me question everything. He made me question it all. Thankfully, I survived. But he made me question it all. Being honest. All right. Update for everyone. We're going live now. I'm ending this. Everyone hop on. Great migration. And then I'll be on for a live reaction. John Lynch is going live right now. All right. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys at the end of this.